Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Mayo, and today I'm going to be breaking down the beat I made for Big Yavo and TLE Cinco. In this video, I'm just going to be going over the general, like, how I made the beat, why I chose this, you know, certain sound selection, and just everything you need to know about Big Yavo and TLE Cinco's beat selection. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so getting started into this breakdown, I went ahead and got everything put into sections. We got our intro, our chorus, and our verse, and just so on into the song. I'm going to go ahead and start out with the melody. So first of all, in most of Big Yavo songs and TLE Cinco songs, you're gonna have a piano, a string, a guitar, or a bass guitar, just one of the four in every single one of his songs. Yeah, so first off, I got the piano. I got this from Addictive Keys. It's the Studio Grand preset, and this is what it sounds like. So nothing too crazy, just got some effects on it. We got a regular EQ cutting out the highs and the lows. We got our Valhalla Vintage Verb for the reverb, and we've also got a little portal preset to give it that reverse sound that you heard. Yeah, that's the piano. So moving on to the next instrument, we got our strings, and this is just something I got from SRX Orchestra called the staccato section. This is what that sounds like. So yeah, something just super simple, nothing too crazy. For the effects on that, we've got our EQ cutting out the highs and the lows. Also got some Valhalla Vintage Verb for the reverb. And yeah, like you're not gonna be going too crazy on effects or instruments at all for any of their style of beats. It's more of just drums driven, I guess you could say. Not really too much on the melody. Super simple melodies and just hard hitting drums. That's about all you're gonna need for their style of beats. Actually, in the process of making this beat, I was trying to find a bass guitar in Arcade because I think they've got some really nice sounding bass guitars. And just knowing going through Arcade, you go through thousands of different presets. Going through the thousands of different presets in Arcade, I found some guitars that I thought sounded good for this beat. So the first one being from Pocket Band in Arcade. This is what that sounds like. So yeah, just I think more of like an accent to the beat. Kind of use it as a lead a little bit. I turned it down, made it more stereo, and for the effects, I've got Valhalla Vintage Verb again, some more EQ, just cutting out the highs and lows, and I also added in RC20, just to kind of give it more of that cassette feel, vintage kind of feel. Yeah, nothing too much on that. Moving on to the next thing is another guitar from Arcade. It's from the Memento pack. This is what that sounds like. So yeah, I think that's more of like a layer to the first guitar. I think it's not something you really hear, but more something that you feel in the song. I think it adds a good like accent to the accent guitar. I guess that makes any sense. But last but not least, we got our last little Arcade guitar, which is the bass guitar, which I finally found one that I thought fit well. Also from the Memento pack, and this is what that guitar sounds like. So yeah, just something simple to really give it more of like a deep tone in the melody. For the effects, I've got an EQ, just cutting out a little bit of lows, some highs, and I also added in some distortion from FabFilter Saturn 2 to give it more of like just a little bit more hard hitting in the low end. Yeah, that's about it for the melody. I also added in this texture to give it more of like a feeling in the intro. That's what that sounds like. So yeah, overall, nothing too crazy. Again, like I said, just super simple melodies, more of on the catchy side for the melody, and just hard hitting drums. That's your really main focus for all the Big Yavo and TLE Cinco sound. All together, this is what everything sounds like. And I also have the guitar in, but I left it out just because I feel like it fits more for the chorus. And if I were to have it all together, I think it just sounds too busy. And so this is what it sounds like all together. I just feel like it doesn't leave any room for the artist, and so I left that out for like the chorus, and I also took out the second guitar so it leaves room for the artist and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really just a melody for, again, just everything super simple. If you take anything out of this video, just make sure super simple melody, hard hitting drums. About all you're gonna need to know. And so yeah, moving on to the drums now. Alright, so moving on to the drums, I'm gonna start out with the hi-hats. So getting started, most people, whenever they make a trap type beat or anything, they're gonna go to their hi-hat and they're gonna right click and hit fill each by two step. And that sounds something like this. But for Big Yavo specifically, I just feel like to fit his style more and to also give him more room to just say what he needs to say on the beat, I recommend doing fill each by four step. It fits his style much more, and this is what that sounds like. And also, if you're making a Big Yavo type beat or TLE Cinco, you want to stay around that 140 to 130 tempo range. If you want to cut that in half, you could do more of like a 70-65 type cut if you want to do halftime. But that's around his tempo and what he does best at. Most of his songs are in that tempo. And so this is the hi-hat pattern that I made for Big Yavo. Again, everything's just super simple. You're not gonna be going too in-depth or crazy with the drums or melody or anything like that. So moving on to the clap. One thing I've also realized about making beats for Big Yavo is that he doesn't use your ordinary clap or snare. He uses more of like a snap clap. So whenever the clap goes, it sounds something like this. So you can like really hear that snap with the clap. I don't know, they just go together. And what most of his songs have, that distinct clap snap kind of combo. I don't know what you call it, but that's what I've realized. And moving on, in most of his beats, normally on the downbeat of every single 4 bars, I guess, he's got a crash sound, which is something like this. And then moving on, I've got an open hat. I think it just complements the crash in the beginning and also kind of gives it more of like a bounce to the beat. And it sounds something like this. Just something slight, more of like a layer, I guess. Could also be one of those feeling sounds you don't really hear too much. And then I also have a rim, kind of using this as like a perk in a way. And it sounds something like this. And last but not least, I have a tom. And so what I've realized also, instead of using like risers or anything, he'll usually use toms to kind of rise up into the beat drop. And so that sounds something like this. And then that's whenever that tom and crash kind of complement each other and kind of sound like this. So it's also more of like a realistic drum sound, so you're not gonna be really using too many like of those trap sounds. And so yeah, also totally forgot, one of the main parts is the 808. So whenever you do the 808, you want to leave room for the artist, so you're not gonna be doing too many rolls or nothing crazy like that again. So this is what the 808 pattern I made sounds like. And so yeah, that's really all the drums put together. Again, like I keep stressing, more on the simple side, nothing too crazy. And this is them all together. Alright guys, so it's really the end of the video. I appreciate you guys for watching all the way through. If you clicked on this video and made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, this is really just a breakdown video, kind of like a Genius Deconstructed, I guess you could say. If you guys want more videos like this, just let me know in the comments. If you guys want different types of videos, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna have all my socials down in the description below, so just check me out there. And yeah guys, I really appreciate you watching, and just yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yes sir.